YouTube vinyl community, Ella Fitzgerald fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about Ella Fitzgerald's album, Ella Sings Gershwin. No. Ella Sings Gershwin, released on Decca Records sometime in the late 50s, I think. The original version was a 10-inch album, version of it, which came out in 1950, and was apparently her first album. Before that was, singles, for lack of a better term, sides, I guess you'd call them back then. But this was like her first album, per se. This album, this version of it, is a little bit different. It adds 3 songs that weren't on the original album. Oh Lady Be Good, I'm Just a Lucky So-and-so, and I Didn't Mean a Word I Said, which the 3 of them stand out because the whole album is Ellis Larkins on piano, and then these 3 other songs are like her with an orchestra. So it's kind of a weird set, and they're broken up at weird points on the album too, but overall, I mean, they're not super distracting, but it's a little bit of a different vibe. Anyways, I love this album. Her voice is absolutely beautiful and stunning, and it's one of those albums for me that you put it on at night. It's just a good night album. It's, the lights are down low a little bit, you put this on, drinking whatever you're drinking, some wine, cup of tea, whatever. Great album to listen to. So, she sings songs of George Gershwin, who wrote some of the best songs of all time, and her voice on them just, again, owns it, completely hers. So I think that's why her appeal was so strong and amazing, because she could sing anything, and she just sounded great. I absolutely love, her other songs too, where she could do her amazing scat singing, which she shows a little bit on this thing too. But the detail and power and emotion throughout this thing was fantastic and a great listen. So, Summer to Watch Over Me, the classic song. I mean, just right off the bat, just the amount of heart and power and soul in her voice. The melancholy, the yearning, just deep, just a deep song. It really comes from within, and it's one of those things where you can sing a song, but can you really sing it? Can you feel it? Do you know what the words are about? Do you really get into it? That's what she does throughout this whole album. So right off the bat, we're into it. My one and only, again, you get a bit of a smoky barroom vibe, and I've used that term a lot on this channel, but that's because I like that term, and I also think it's a good imagery. You can imagine her, near the piano. There's some really smart suit looking dude playing the piano, and she's standing next to it singing, and there's people kind of mulling around, maybe a little bit of a smoky fog going above the place, and the lights are low, and she's on stage, and the whole scene is set. You get it, really light piano. It almost sounds like he's barely touching the keys on it, which is kind of a cool effect. But Ella's voice sounds really sweet and assured, and really digging that. But not for me. 3 songs in, and this again continues the relaxing nighttime feel. For me, this 3 songs in, this album is starting to become a little bit of history for me. If this was the only piece of Gershwin music that ever existed was his writing and her singing, I'd be happy with that, because these songs she's made her own. Very cool. Ellis Larkin's piano playing throughout this whole thing too is absolutely fantastic. Sometimes he's really subdued, sometimes he's really into it, sometimes he's kind of bouncy or really somber, and it matches her voice perfectly. But on this song, a track about unrequited love, it's touching and it's heartbreaking, and Ellis's piano playing on this one is a little more understated, and letting Ella kind of do the work on top of it, which works great. Looking for a Boy, it's a song, knowing that boy is out there for you, and, the trials you need to go through to get there. But this is kind of cool because it's kind of calm but bouncy at the same time. Ella's impassioned voice dances really well on top of the piano playing. Nice work if you can get it, and that's just a funny line, cool job if you can have someone to love, nice work if you can get it. You can hear her smile as she sings this one, real happy kind of song at times. It also it shows off her dynamic range a lot. There's some good high points, good low points in her voice. Vocally she can go high, vocally she can go low. Really good showcase song for her, because she's got a great range, unbelievable range. Oh Lady Be Good, this is where it gets weird, because all of a sudden there's an orchestra here, and for the whole time it's just been her and a piano, and all of a sudden we got this giant orchestra. So the placement of it is a little bizarre, but it's still a good song. And she gets to show off her scat singing, which is unbelievable. She just it totally sounds like she's trying to sound like a trumpet just going insane. And it works so well. She also references a Tisket a Tasket, the song she kind of made popular herself in the 30s. So, I mean, true vocal genius all over this thing. So check out that song. I mean, it doesn't really fit stylistically, I'd say, per se, but it's unbelievable track nonetheless. Side 2 starts with I've Got a Crush on You, and really enjoying the somberness on this one. Kind of grabs at your heartstrings. It's a song about letting it all out, telling someone you love that you love them, or your thoughts, your feelings about them. For me, it's like a true classic. Then we got How Long Has This Been Going On? And there's a real sweet, syrupy effect for her vocal on this. Not like a cosmetic effect or something, but like lyrically and physically, it's got this kind of syrupy vibe. Real sweet kind of vibe, and you just kind of get wrapped up into the story, you get wrapped up into her vocal. For me, this is one of the best tracks on the album. I absolutely love the way she sings this one, and the airiness in her voice at times too. This track, Maybe, more sweetness on this one, a little bit of a playfulness kind of vibe to it, but not really one of my favorites. Not too bad though. Soon, I love the chords on this one. It kind of veers off into a little bit of a different territory from the rest of the album, where there's chords that you haven't heard yet. And the way she sings on top of those melodies is fascinating. I think it's a cool kind of vibe that happens here. She's just got an incredible voice, and the bouncy chorus kind of works for me too. And then we get a couple more songs. I'm Just a Lucky So-and-So, and then I Didn't Mean a Word I Said. These both are Duke Ellington and Jimmy McCullough. So that's kind of cool to have Duke Ellington and Jimmy McCullough on here too. But it's great to hear the full orchestra with her voice on top of it, and really detailed, enunciated vocals. I love the guitar work, and I Didn't Mean a Word I Said. Really kind of bright guitar work that happens underneath it, and it's cool to hear her voice, mixed in with those instruments throughout it as well. So in a way, maybe it is kind of nice to have it broken up a little bit, because it is just piano and vocal the whole time. But that's kind of why I like it. It's simple and it's beautiful. It reminds me of was it Folk Singer by Muddy Waters, the one where it's like just him and a guitar the entire time. I think it's Folk Singer. That's a good album too. Check that one out. But this was one of the coolest albums I've heard in a while, and it's got a good story in the back. Kind of tells her story, her rise to fame a little bit into the 30s. And I've been trying to figure out when this is from. From what I can figure out, it's got to be from the 50s, just judging by the Decca label, the old black label. But the vinyl itself is that like shellac feeling kind of vinyl. So it's one of those ones where, like, remember that scene in It's a Wonderful Life where what's her name breaks the record on the record player? It feels like that kind of vinyl. I'm not going to go breaking this record, but this is a great album to put on if you're in kind of a chill mood. If it's nighttime, you want something kind of quiet but still kind of detailed and interesting to listen to. You can't go wrong with this thing. I'd give this thing an 8 out of 10 all day, no problem. The only hiccup I'd say I have with it is that I wish it was just her and the piano. Like, I like the 3 tracks with the orchestra, but I prefer just the piano. So I may try to source out an original 1950 issue of this thing, which was a 10-inch record back in the day. So I might go take a look for that. But overall, I mean, great album. Absolutely love this thing. So 8 out of 10, and that's it. My name is Giggens. This has been Album Reviews with Ella Fitzgerald. Ella sings Gershwin. Check it out if you haven't heard it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.